So, congratulations on the movie. What brought you to the project?
I was the screenwriter on the project. So there was a previous screenwriter, Simon Kelton, who did a draft, and then I came aboard in 2002. So it was a long haul getting it to the screen, and it had actually been quicker to get an Olympic event and train myself than go to the Olympics and get this movie to the big screen.
That's 14 years, huge amount of time. I mean, were you ever worried it wasn't going to get off the ground?
No, you actually learn a lot by writing the Eddie Eagle story. The first thing you learn is never give up. It doesn't matter how many times they say no. Don't let it deter you. You've got to keep on plodding until you get there. So.
And when did you realise that Hugh Jackman was going to be on board? And was that a big part of getting it?
That was the golden moment. It was November 2014. Producer Matthew Vaughn said, we'll get someone like Hugh Jackman to play the coach. He came on board about a month before, and 5 months later they were filming with Hugh Jackman in Germany. So he was the key to the whole thing.
And another very important part of it is Taron Egerton, of course, playing Eddie the Eagle.
That's the other thing, was that Matthew Vaughn said, I've got just the guy to play Eddie. And so I went to a screening of Kingsman before it was released. He was a sort of undiscovered gem, and I watched this guy in immaculate tailoring save the world. It's like, this guy's going to be Eddie the Eagle? And he's such a good actor. Once he put the glasses on the Jonathan Ross show, and that was it. He was transformed. So.
And what was the hardest part for you bringing the story to the screen then? I mean, obviously it's the story of triumph over adversity, but...
The hardest part for the Eddie story was toning it down so it was believable. His real life was so insane and crazy and eccentric that there were things that were too mad to include. My favourite one was the villain. He had a kind of Olympic official who took Eddie's locker away at the local sports centre, and his name was Alan Hole. And I said, oh, so my villain is going to be called A. Hole. It's like, no one's going to believe that, but that was his real name.
Excellent. What does Eddie make of the movie? I'm assuming he's seen it, and how proud is he of it?
He cries every time he sees it, because through enjoyment, not through horror. So I think he was worried he was going to be the sort of bumbling Inspector Clouseau comedy. In fact, we fell in love with the character in the journey. I mean, it's sort of true to the spirit of his quest, So I think he's really proud of it, because it salutes his achievement, because he did go on to become this actually quite good, ski jumper. So, as he always reminds you, he didn't come last, he came 58th, because the other two broke their legs on the jump.
Is there any potential to follow up then, with seeing more of what happened to him after the events in the movie?
Well, I think after he finished when he came back to England after the Olympics, here he is, the great man himself. He had a hit single in Finland called Fly Eddie Fly, so no. no sequel, no follow-up. I've heard that song, trust me. It's on YouTube. Go there if you dare.
Okay, and finally, just a word about Dexter Fletcher as well, director of the movie. What does he bring to it, and was it important to have a British director on board?
Of course it was, yeah, absolutely. He's the great thing being an actor himself, and since child acting, I think he set the tone and the energy and the chemistry, so that he's just terrific at handling actors, and plus the staging the movie. I mean, it's a sort of underdog movie, but the movie expands and becomes a big movie as it hits the sort of massive alpine slopes and the Olympics itself. So no, he did an amazing job.
Excellent. Congratulations. We really did enjoy it. So thank you very much.
Very good.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey